A quiet evening unfolded in an ordinary apartment where a woman named Elena sat on her couch after a long workday, staring at the ceiling as her mind slipped into yet another familiar scene. She imagined herself confidently speaking up in the meeting she had avoided that afternoon, receiving the praise she longed for, and finally feeling respected. The scene felt so real that her heart rate quickened and a small smile crossed her face. But when the fantasy faded, the same untouched to-do list and the same quiet loneliness waited. This gentle, very human pattern is at the center of the dark side of imagining fake scenarios, a thoughtful exploration of how our minds create vivid inner worlds that can comfort us, but also quietly pull us away from the real life happening right in front of us. Let me tell you this story the way an old friend might, sitting across from you on a calm evening, sharing what so many of us experience without ever naming it. Elena wasn't unusual. Like many thoughtful, sensitive people, she had always had a rich imagination. As a child it helped her through lonely afternoons. As an adult it became a private refuge when work felt overwhelming, relationships felt uncertain, or self-doubt crept in. In her mind she replayed conversations where she said the perfect thing, pictured herself in a better job, or imagined warm connections that never quite happened in real life. These mental movies brought temporary comfort and a sense of control. But over months and years, something shifted. The more time she spent in those perfect scenarios, the less energy she had for the imperfect but real moments unfolding around her. This is the quiet reality many people live with. Imagining fake scenarios starts as a normal, even helpful mental habit. Our brains are wired to simulate possibilities. It helps us plan, prepare, and dream. Yet when it becomes a daily escape, it begins to carry a hidden cost. Elena noticed she felt more tired even though she hadn't done much. She would spend 40 minutes in the shower replaying an argument with her colleague, winning it brilliantly in her mind, only to step out feeling drained and still avoiding the real conversation. The fantasy gave her a rush of satisfaction, but it never changed the actual situation. Slowly, the gap between her imagined life and her real life widened. What makes this pattern so common is how gentle and reasonable it feels at first. After a difficult day, who wouldn't want a few minutes of feeling capable and admired? The mind offers that relief without requiring any risk. No chance of rejection. No fear of saying the wrong thing. In Elena's imagined scenes she was always eloquent, confident, and loved. But each return to reality brought a small, accumulating disappointment. The real meeting still needed to happen. The real relationship still needed honest words. The real goal still needed real steps. Over time, the habit created a soft barrier between her and her actual life. The hidden cost shows up in small, realistic ways. Elena's friendships grew a little distant because she spent more mental energy imagining perfect interactions than having real ones. Her work performance stayed average because she rehearsed success in her head instead of preparing thoroughly and taking action. Even her sleep suffered. Late-night replays kept her mind active when her body needed rest. She wasn't dramatic or lost in fantasy all day. She was simply a normal person using a normal mental tool too often, until it began to quietly shape her days. This pattern often grows stronger for thoughtful, creative, or sensitive people. Their minds are good at building detailed inner worlds. That same strength becomes a gentle trap when the inner world starts feeling safer or more rewarding than the outer one. Past hurts can make it worse. If someone has experienced rejection, criticism, or failure, the mind naturally creates protective scenarios where those things don't happen. It feels like self-care. But without balance, it becomes avoidance wearing the mask of imagination. The turning point for Elena came on an unremarkable Tuesday. She caught herself midway through a familiar fantasy and asked a simple question: what am I avoiding right now? The honest answer was a difficult conversation with her manager. Instead of slipping back into the mental movie, she paused, felt the discomfort, and wrote down 3 small sentences she could actually say the next day. That tiny shift felt uncomfortable at first, but it also brought a surprising sense of relief. The real conversation went better than she feared. More importantly, she discovered that real action, even imperfect, created more lasting satisfaction than perfect fantasies. This is the quiet wisdom at the heart of understanding the dark side of imagining fake scenarios. The habit itself is not evil. Our imagination is a beautiful gift. The problem arises when it becomes the main place we live. Real life, messy, unpredictable, and full of both struggle and genuine connection, needs our presence. The more we practice returning to the present moment, the more we regain energy for the things that actually matter. Practical ways to gently shift the balance feel doable because they honor the need for inner space while encouraging real-world steps. When you notice yourself drifting into a repeated fantasy, Pause and name what feeling you are seeking: confidence, safety, connection. Then ask what small, real action might bring even a little of that feeling into your actual day. Maybe it's sending a short message instead of imagining a long conversation. Maybe it's practicing a skill for 10 minutes instead of picturing mastery. These small bridges between imagination and reality slowly rebuild trust in your ability to handle real life. Grounding practices help too. Simple things like noticing your breath, feeling your feet on the floor, or describing 5 things you can see bring the mind back to the present without judgment. Over time, the habit of gentle return becomes natural. Journaling can also serve as a safe container, writing the fantasy down and then exploring what real need it points to. This turns imagination from an escape into useful information. Elena's story continued in small, realistic ways. She didn't suddenly become perfectly present. Some days the old habit still pulled her in. But she grew kinder with herself on those days and quicker to return to real action. Friendships deepened because she showed up more fully. Work improved because she prepared and followed through. Even her evenings felt richer because she spent less time mentally rehearsing and more time actually living. The change wasn't dramatic or perfect. It was steady and human. If you recognize yourself in this pattern, know that it does not mean something is wrong with you. Your mind is creative and protective. It developed this habit for understandable reasons. The path forward is not about forcing yourself to stop imagining entirely. It is about creating a healthier balance where imagination supports real life instead of replacing it. You deserve both the rich inner world you naturally have and the satisfying experiences that come from showing up in reality. Start wherever you are. Notice one fantasy today. Gently ask what it is trying to give you. Then take one small, doable step in the real world. Celebrate that step, no matter how ordinary it seems. Over weeks and months, these small returns to presence add up to a life that feels more full, connected, and truly your own. You are not broken for having a strong imagination. You are human. And with awareness and gentle practice, that same imagination can become a helpful guide rather than a hiding place. The real life waiting for you, with its ordinary moments, real connections, and genuine achievements, is worth showing up for. One gentle return at a time, you can create a balance that honors both your inner world and the beautiful, imperfect world around you.